What's up, you guys, and welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day here for today. Hope you guys have been staying safe. So we have a lot of information in regard to the tropics as well as the severe weather that's currently kicking off across the country. We have a severe threat level 4 out of 5. We're almost maxing out our severe threat here for today across the Ohio Valley. We were live during it earlier, but unfortunately our Wi-Fi was not so happy with it, so we were not able to cover the whole entire thing. I'm sorry, guys. I would hope to have been there all night for you guys, and just know that you guys, please be safe here. The main threat for today is damaging winds, as we are going to cover here in a few minutes in regard to things. Now, guys, if you are new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button. It'd be greatly appreciated. You guys absolutely rock. So, guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and get on into it. Alrighty, guys, so first off, we're taking a look here at the tropics on the eastern Pacific side. We actually are currently monitoring two different systems, one just south of the Yucatan Peninsula, as well as another one just south across central portions of Mexico. Still in the Pacific, obviously. So we are watching these two different areas here. We're going to go ahead and start with the yellow one across, just south of the Yucatan. And this guy has a chance of, actually a 30% chance of developing into some type of tropical cyclone over the next 5 days, basically. And a 20% chance of it developing within the next 48 hours, or basically 2 days. So as of right now, it's not really a big concern in regard to this. However, the other system we are monitoring here that's in red, this guy is about to turn into something. So currently clocked in at a 90-90 chance, a 90% chance of overall formation into a tropical system here within the next 5 days, and a 90% chance this thing's going to form here within the next 48 hours. So this thing could likely form later on tomorrow. We can see how this develops here. It could definitely turn into some type of tropical system, a tropical depression, or a tropical storm by tomorrow. We'll continue watching it, and like I said, we're going to continue giving you guys updates on it. We'll take a look at models here in a second as well, in regard to what we can expect. Okay, so now we move on into the Atlantic. Now, we've been monitoring a potential system here that could develop somewhere down the line. This thing could get pretty daggone interesting. This thing's going to be needed to be monitored over the next little bit. So currently located just south of the Caribbean, directly north of Panama, we are currently watching this disturbance. We're definitely going to keep our eye over for the next few days. So, as of right now, they clocked it in as the overall formation chance within the next 5 days, clocking in at 40% chance. So, it's kind of around that likely margin that it might develop down the line. But right now, we just need a little bit more information on the system in regard to what it might do down the line. So, possibility, this thing could develop further down the line. As of right now, I will tell you, this is an increasing probability. So, we'll likely see a higher update here for tomorrow's outlook. Now, over the next 48 hours, it has a 10% chance. It's not really expected to develop within the next 2 days, but it's something we got to watch down in the extended range. Alrighty, guys, so now we're moving on into the models here. First off, we're taking a look here at the GFS model. This is the American model. Now, if you guys want to follow on the time is just above my head there. You guys can see, clocking at 5 o'clock p.m. on the 13th. Obviously, it's well past 5 o'clock, but this is the model that came out just a little bit ago. So, here's the thing. We are currently watching this area of low pressure just south of Mexico. You can obviously see that was that red disturbance we were watching just a few seconds ago back on the tropical outlook. Now, this guy, as we do progress down here in time, this thing is going to get quite interesting. So you can obviously see we are expecting rapid development to occur. Now you look at the time, 11 o'clock a.m. on June 14th, being tomorrow. This thing's kind of showing rapid development by then. I mean, literally, there's a possibility, as we do track down towards PM hours, like towards, the evening hours for tomorrow, this thing might even be a tropical storm, according to GFS model. We got to continue watching this here. Regardless, rapid development is expected, at least according to this model. Now, we do have ourselves two other areas of low pressure. Like I said, the one just south of the Yucatan, that's that second disturbance that was in the yellow there. That we need to watch as well as the guy here in the Atlantic. Now, watch what happens down the line with this. So, this is expected to rapidly develop as well across pretty much the eastern side of Mexico. Kind of just taking a northern approach here. Now, here's the thing. This has actually been the trend over the last several days, that this system might actually impact the Yucatan Peninsula. Now, where it's going to impact as well as the strength it's going to be, kind of unknown at this time. As we do post more updates in the tropics, like I said, tropical outlooks and stuff like that, we'll have better ideas here for, the next coming days. Now, that other system, is kind of doing something weird here. You can obviously kind of see it is kind of moving more eastward, unlike these other storms moving westward. I really don't expect much out of this storm as of right now. It kind of looks like it's just going to get kind of swallowed up by this that hurricane, that quote-unquote hurricane that might actually hit the Yucatan. We'll watch it. We'll definitely keep an eye on it for the next few days. But regardless, both of these systems, as of now, at least according to GFS, might approach high-end tropical storm status, if not potential hurricane status, according to the GFS model. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll see just what happens here. Okay, so now we're diving in a little bit more deeper into the models here. So first of all, I want to go ahead and say we're taking a look here at the overall moisture supply that's in the atmosphere. That's actually one main key component for hurricanes to develop is moisture, and that we just have. So like I said, right here across portions of that kind of greenish blue color, that's showing us that we have a lot of moisture that's up there in the atmosphere. Kind of like I said, that brownish kind of color is showing that it's actually more dry. So once again, honestly, there's a lot of moisture that's here across, basically all across the entire range of all three of these systems that could develop. Now, down the line for this first one we're looking at here, like I said, the one that's expected to develop tomorrow, this one eventually will likely encounter some dry air, which might allow it for to really kind of shred apart, maybe even as it starts to move into those cooler ocean waters as well. So this thing is going to rapidly devolve once it kind of reaches into that dry air. Now, the other system that's set to impact the Yucatan, as of now, it honestly looks like there is a lot of moisture at play here. So moisture is definitely not going to be a concern for any of these systems anytime soon, which is actually really concerning. And that's just going to basically, there's going to be no limits in regard to development in terms of moisture. And then we look here at the wind shear. Now, this is basically just winds at certain levels of the atmosphere. Now, for hurricanes to develop, you do not want much wind shear at all. Basically, if you have a lot of winds at certain levels, it's going to rip apart that storm, and that's definitely not what we want here. So, there's our first area of low pressure. This is that first system we are watching. Now, if we do track down here in time, you'll honestly notice there's a lot of heavy winds here just south of the storm, but it's not for the actual storm itself, which is good news. That might actually allow it to develop quicker. Well, obviously not good news, but good news for the storm in order for it wants to develop here. So, a lot of wind shear just to the south, and there's a lot of wind shear also across the Yucatan as well, but that is going to luckily die down by the time the second system, or unluckily die down, depending on if you like hurricanes or not, die down by the time it reaches the Yucatan. As you can see, there's not much wind shear at all, which is going to pretty much just put no limitations on this storm. So there's a lot of moisture and not much wind shear. Okay, so now we're moving on to the icon model. Now this is a different model, obviously, but we're just going to be taking a look at the track and intensity just based off of these next few models here, just to kind of get an idea of what we can expect. So I want to go ahead and note that this one does not go as far, so if you don't see much happening here with that Atlantic storm, don't you worry, because it will still likely happen. It's just, like I said, it just doesn't cover as much time. Now, when you drive down here in time, you can obviously see, both of these systems, especially that first one we're watching, is set to really strengthen here. Now, according to, like I said, as we were looking at the GFS model, this thing really did show a lot of rapid development here by tomorrow. And let's go ahead and move on down to around 11 o'clock p.m. for tomorrow. Now, as you can obviously see, this thing is kind of clocking in a little bit weaker as in regard to what the GFS model had to say. But here, as we move into the 15th, yeah, we're going to start to see a lot more rapid development. So this is kind of a little bit delayed compared to what the GFS model had to say. But regardless, honestly, this is actually showing a high-end tropical storm, if not a hurricane, by the time it continues to move to the west here. So definitely something we got to continue watching. Okay, then we got NavGem. Now, this model is actually a lot different, as you might notice here, just moving down the line here. So, first of all, the first thing is that this first system is kind of cutting a little bit more close to the coastline of Mexico. Second thing is that Atlantic system is going haywire. And look at this, moving to the northwest at rapid speeds, kind of trucking right towards Texas. Now, like I said, that's not final. That's far from final. As of right now, the majority of what we saw so far is it hitting the Yucatan. So that's definitely kind of questionable at this time. We'll definitely watch it over the next little bit. Okay, now we have the ECMWF model. This is your European model in regard to things. So this model's a bit different as well. All these models are kind of a little bit different than one another. The first big system is kind of just set to stall out a little bit according to this model here. Maybe kind of get close to that coastline, then eventually rapidly develop into something kind of maybe around tropical storm status according to this model. Really not much on the Atlantic because, like I said, this is also one of those models that does not go out that far, not too far in time. So just watch it. We'll see what happens. Now, let's go ahead and take a look here at one more model here. Okay, so this last model is the CMC. Now, as we do track down here a little bit further, as you're going to notice, it kind of stalls out a bit like the other models were kind of showing. Some of the other models were actually showing here. And it does get close to the, kind of the coastline here of southern Mexico. Then it kind of just fades out in the distance and really doesn't do anything else. So there's a lot, as you can obviously tell, there's still a lot of disagreement between the models here. So we'll continue watching it over the next few days. Okay, guys, so this is the last thing we're going to talk about here in regard to the Tropics update here for today. This is what we call the ECENS ensembles. These are basically just kind of like the spaghetti plots you guys are used to probably seeing in regard to the models in regard to where they're going to end up. So we do track down here in time. Now, this is for all the systems. You can see how there's 3 different ones. You can barely see the one down here in the Atlantic, but this will work its way up here to the north that you're going to see. Now, we have these other two. Like I said, this is the big one. This is the secondary one. We track down here a little bit further. Now, first the thing, this, like I said, the second system here on the far eastern side is going to kind of take a donut shape or a horseshoe shape and kind of just shift its way back here to the east, while this other guy, like I said, it's likely going to hit the Yucatan Peninsula on the southern edge, at least according to these ECNS ensembles. And then the other guy, the big one, is probably just going to be shooting off into the waters and eventually just kind of fading out. But that's according to your ECNS ensemble. So there we go. We'll just play the whole scan so you guys can kind of see what we're talking about here. All just kind of shoot their way here to the west and like I said, that system is likely going to hit the Yucatan down the line. All right, so guys, now we're moving on into the severe weather realm in regard to what is currently happening. So this is today's outlook. This is currently what's happening here right now. So we have ourselves a severe threat level 4 out of 5, like I was telling you guys. Big old threat here for today of severe weather. Now, tornadoes, believe it or not, is actually not the main concern for today. However, there is 2 different individual tornado threats across portions of the Ohio Valley, as well as some across the northern plains here. 5% chance, the highest percent chance for today. Nothing too crazy. Just watch out for a few tornadoes being possible across those regions there. Now, in regard to hail, hail is a pretty decent concern, especially across portions of the northern plains here. 15% chance of it happening, quarter size or larger could possibly happen. Now with this little netted area here, this is where we're talking a little bit more bigger hail could be possible, maybe up to the size of 3 inches or larger. So it's kind of pretty nasty here in regard to hail. Now damaging winds, that's where it gets you. That's where the big threat is across the region. 45% significant chance of seeing damaging winds 80 miles per hour and higher being possible. Definitely is quite crazy in regard to the damaging winds, and that's what makes it the moderate threat we have for today. Okay, now we move into tomorrow's threat. Now we have ourselves a severe threat level 2 out of 5 across those areas here in yellow. Now tornadoes, will they be a concern? Yes, it actually will be a small concern across portions of the mid-Atlantic as well as the central plains into portions of the Midwest. Now damaging winds, that's what makes it a slight risk here. Across portions of the regions, 15% chance across the yellow of seeing some damaging winds. Maybe 60 to 70 miles per hour could be possible across those regions there. And hail is a little bit lower threat across portions of the mid-Atlantic, but still a pretty decent concern across portions of the Midwest into the plains here. Possibility we could see some hailstones, maybe the size of quarters, maybe some a little bit bigger, but that's kind of what we're talking about. More severe weather possible again here on Wednesday across portions of the central portion of the country, moving up into portions of the upper Midwest, with a significant threat for severe weather being likely across portions of eastern Iowa as well as Wisconsin. Definitely watch out for some severe storms as well. Then we move into Thursday. Another threat is persistent across the Ohio Valley, moving up into the northeast. Something we got to watch out, my friends. Even further down into long range, we're not really expecting it too much. So just watch out for severe weather all the way from now until Thursday being possible. Anyways, guys, that's going to go ahead and wrap up the little update here for today, guys. If you did enjoy it, make sure you leave a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you guys made it this far, comment down below soda can. That way I know who my true supporters are. But guys, thank you so much for being here. You guys absolutely rock. Check out all those links in the description for our cool merch as well as our memberships. Like I say, guys, every single Monday from here on out, we're going to be doing a membership-only live stream for our supporters and looking at the models and stuff like that. And if you have any personal questions, guys, make sure to let me know down in the description. Like I said, we have our Discord. Everything's down there, guys. If you are enjoying the content, if you guys would like to if you guys would like to support that, on this video there should be a little button that said thanks. If you guys do want to help, help out the channel and stuff like that, we greatly appreciate it, guys. So thank you all so much for being here. Appreciate all your support. Take care, y'all, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.